Hey guys, you know, it's been one heck of a week when it comes to professional wrestling, hasn't it? I mean, you have WWE ending up in a situation that they would hope they never end up in because of the virus, with several other talents, if not most well known talents, backstage, maybe even in the ring, being positive for the virus that's going on right now. To the hashtag speaking out, which has led to the suspension, if not termination, of several superstars, men and women's contracts with the promotions they work for or the affiliations with the promotions they work for, as well as even several promotions shutting down. I mean, Shakara is shutting down, probably temporarily, but it's shutting down because of the hashtag speaking out movement. But you take all of that and you add one more to it. You had one more newsworthy item that if you've been a diehard TNA / Impact Wrestling fan since the beginning, you didn't think would happen. You see, in case you guys don't know, several months ago at one of the last pay-per-views, I think it may have been Hard to Kill. I'm not really sure. Basically, Impact Wrestling made the decision to put the World Championship, the main men's championship, that is, the Holy Grail, if you will, the World Heavyweight Championship, on Tessa Blanchard. They decided to give the championship to Tessa because she proved to not only be a very popular female wrestler and athlete in the wrestling business amongst the fans, but she proved to be one of the most popular and most beloved superstars between both men and women. So Impact Wrestling saw a golden opportunity, struck when the pan was hot, if you will, and decided to put the belt on Tessa. Now Tessa has had several title defenses ever since then. A rematch against Sami Callihan. She's defended against the likes of Ace Austin, Moose, Trey Miguel, several others, including Eddie Edwards, and she's even defended against several women like Taya Valkyrie, and I think even Jordynne Grace. But I could be wrong. And the last championship program she was in, when it came to defending her title, was against Ace Austin. So the question is, why am I bringing her up? Well, in case you guys don't know, as of yesterday, because now it's almost 25 minutes after midnight, and it's now Friday. So yesterday, Thursday, late Thursday evening, news broke that Impact Wrestling has stripped Tessa Blanchard of the world title. And why? Because Tessa Blanchard was not being a cooperative team player. Long story short, the announcement was made for Slammiversary that they were going to have their own version of a Fatal 5-Way or a 6-Pack Challenge or something like that, involving the likes of Moose, Eddie Edwards, Michael Elgin, Trey Miguel, Ace Austin, and Tessa Blanchard as the defending champion. And the way they were planning on this happening was Tessa Blanchard was supposed to be, or I guess they were hoping, was going to cooperate and send in some vignettes, videos, promos, and everything to hype up the match. But because Tessa is in Mexico with her husband / fiance / boyfriend Daga, who's a AAA star, she hasn't been able to be, in the arena, in the venue they're at right now, in person to help promote that. So they were hoping that maybe from her Mexico residence or her residence in Mexico or where she's staying, she'd be able to provide some content to still, keep the story current. Well, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com and PW Insider, I believe Mike Johnson reported it, Tessa Blanchard refused. Yeah, Tessa Blanchard refused to cooperate and help provide the footage needed, the promos, the interviews, and everything. So, Impact Wrestling, basically, long story short, was left with no choice but to strip her of the world title. Now, according to what several of these reports said, is that they had things planned out to where I think they were going to have Josh Matthews do something like a Vice satellite-like interview with Tessa using the footage they were hoping to get back from Tessa to make that happen. Like I said, to help keep the match and everything at Slammiversary alive. But again, Tessa didn't do that. Tessa didn't want to cooperate, so they had to work around that. They had to switch things up. So now Slammiversary is going to be still a Fatal 5-way or 6-pack challenge or whatever it is for the vacant Impact World title. I mean, right now, Moose in story and on camera is the quote-unquote TNA World Champion, kind of their answer to the WWE's Universal title or WWE Championship, which is on the SmackDown brand and the Raw brand. WWE Championship's on Raw brand, Universal's on SmackDown. You kind of get the idea. It's kind of their answer to, I guess, the Universal Championship, or maybe the quote-unquote answer to the Intercontinental Championship, or whatever it is. But yeah, Moose right now in story is the quote-unquote World Champion, the TNA World Champion. So they're going to have to address the situation probably at Slammiversary or on an upcoming taping that they're going to be doing of Impact Wrestling, maybe with or without fans, or some kind of fans in the audience. So what does this mean, obviously, for Tessa Blanchard's future when it comes to competing elsewhere, since Impact Wrestling terminated her contract while she was still the world champion, thus stripping her of the belt? Well, it doesn't put her in a good limelight, or spotlight, I should say, because according to reports, WWE doesn't want to have anything to do with her because of her attitude. Thus, that kind of rules out NXT as a possible destination. AEW's kind of like probably going to be up and down about her, probably more up because she is the daughter of Tully Blanchard, and Tully managing her and Shawn Spears in some kind of a small stable may work. I mean, if the speculation's going around, according to, I think, according to Solomonster, Jason Solomon, if the speculation in his mind is going around that they could be thinking of forming a new Horseman-like faction with Tully and Arn as the advisors, what better member to add in right off her debut than Tessa Blanchard as the first full female member of a Horseman-like faction ever. Not just as a valet, but as a competitor. It would make some sense. But AEW, they're kind of, I think, going to be the only place you can go to if even they want to touch her. If Tully is like, hey, you want to give her a chance, and maybe they have some kind of discussions like, well, we can give her a chance, but she's going to be like on a probation period because she has this reputation. So obviously AEW is going to be the main destination point for Tessa Blanchard after her fallout and termination from Impact. But here's the thing. Despite how you may think about Impact, despite how AEW might think about Impact or WWE might think about Impact, if you have a wrestling promotion, major, minor, in the middle, whatever, if you have a wrestling promotion that basically is making the news by saying, hey, we just terminated our current world champion for not being a team player, and you have another wrestling promotion that's been intrigued or interested in that wrestler and wanting to bring them in for the longest time, hearing that, of course they're going to be on the edge. They're going to be like, yeah, she's a talented athlete, but can we really trust her? Can we really count on her to be a team player? Now, that's going to be the question that obviously All Elite Wrestling is going to have to deal with. Because, one, are they going to trust Tessa Blanchard to be a team player? Again, my speculation is she's probably going to be put on a probationary period. Like, they'll bring her in as a favor to Tully Blanchard, since that's his daughter, but they're going to do it with a probationary period. Like, if she can prove herself to be cooperative, be a cooperative team player, not cause any trouble, just go out and do her job, do what she's meant to do, then, hey, we'll sign her to a full-time contract. If not, then she's going to have to continue making a living off the independents. Go back to Mexico and make a living in AAA. So, again, I think AEW is probably the main destination she's going to end up in, but it's going to be mostly on a probationary period, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, long story short, Tessa Blanchard, no longer part of Impact Wrestling, stripped of the world title because she wasn't a cooperative team player. She wasn't, doing what they asked. And now her future, depending on what her next wrestling destination promotion wise is going to be, that's kind of up in the air. I mean, like I said, I think AEW is the most likely destination as a favor to Tully, but I think it's going to be done on a probationary period to see if she can be a team player, or are they just going to have to cut any connection with her as well? So we'll have to, as I say in a lot of my videos, wait and see what the future holds for Tessa. And I know some people might say, well, this is what happened. This is obvious. Now, I know some people will come to Tessa's defense and say that this is also Impact's fault for putting the world title on her, because obviously that went to her head. And that might be true, but again, we won't know the details until we hear from not just Impact's side of things, which we are right now, but also from Tessa's side of things as to why she wasn't working, along with them, being a team player. But that's all I can say on it, though, guys. Let me know what you think down below. I know people like Solomonster, Jason Solomon, and Solomonster Sounds Off. I know that Alyx of Just Alex's World. I know a lot of them are, good mic work. Many people that I watch and listen to, like you guys do, are going to probably be talking about this in upcoming videos, live streams, what have you, podcasts, what have you. So until then, though, guys, let me know what you think down below, and I am out.